boy. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Robbie Diesel here. I'm joined by a very, 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 very exciting guest, a friend of mine, a great guy, an inspiration, I guess we would say. Not I guess, I know we would say. Mr. T-shirt CEO himself, Randall Wilburn. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me. I don't know how much money I owe you for calling me an inspiration and all that, but you just let me know.
I'll hit you cash out
right.
for sure. So I'm excited to be doing this, man, because I've been wanting to have you on for a very long time. And, things happen. Life comes at you fast, but I'm glad that it worked out because things are always working out how they're supposed to, and we're getting to record this inside your new storefront, man.
Yeah, storefront just opened yesterday. Yesterday was the grand opening.
Yeah.
And, I'm excited. It's a long time coming, beautiful thing, and, I'm happy with it.
Good, man, good. This is the home base for Velocity Tees and Fannie Lucille, kind of a joint partnership between you and the missus. Shout out Kayla.
Yeah.
We had to do that.
Right.
we had to mention her at some point. Hi, hello. How's it feel, man? To bring it back in, how does it feel to have had a conversation or several conversations with myself, with your wife, with other friends and family, and now we are sitting in the real world version of what you thought about in those conversations?
It feels amazing. It's surreal. Like you said, we've been having this conversation for so long to actually have it manifest, to have it come to fruition. A lot of hard work, a lot of sweat, man. I've been doing T-shirts now for, I don't know, maybe like 9-10 years. It seems like. And it's an amazing feeling to see the fruits of your labor actually, come to pass, and we're here, man.
Yeah, we are definitely here. So I want to rewind the clock a little bit and talk to you about the beginnings of Velocity Tees, because it wasn't always Velocity Tees. You started off with a couple of different brands. So what got you started, and then what brought you into the eventual change in the Velocity Tees?
So I started with cross-training. Mm-hmm. It was cross-training sports. So the idea was to have an athletic brand, a faith-based athletic brand. And when people hear cross-training, they think of sports, athletics, but it was really to train people in the way of the cross.
Right.
I was doing that, and, I was doing okay. I just didn't pick up enough traction as fast as I wanted. And then I also felt limited, like I couldn't really make shirts like funny shirts, kid shirts. I felt limited. So I kind of switched and did the Velocity Tees thing so that I could jump more so to the manufacturing side and helping young entrepreneurs launch their brands. So producing for other people. And then, of course, cross-training is still dear to my heart. And, so I kind of did I'm doing a little spin-off of cross-training, and I'm calling it A Tribe Called Blessed.
Okay.
And that is now my Christian or faith-based brand, and Velocity Tees is the engine behind it.
Right on. And that's big to say, man, because a lot of people are somewhat or sometimes ashamed to be like, I'm a man of faith. I believe this and I believe that. And you are very, very loud and proud. I mean, we got shirts to the left here that are just God, and I know that you are a firm believer in that. Can you speak a little bit about your how your faith guides you as a businessman?
Absolutely. So, like the shirt says, just God. This doesn't happen without the faith and believing that God is behind it. Because me personally, I'm just a regular guy. I'm a regular guy, man. So I just believe that this whole thing was nothing but God. The timing of it, the ups and the downs. It was nothing but God and me learning and being trained in the way of the cross, being humble, submitting myself to God through prayer and reading the scriptures and all that kind of stuff daily, man. I just believe this is a God move. Like it's nothing but God. That's kind of where the shirt is like. It's just God. Like it's not me. Like I know you see me, but it's not me. It's just God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's an awesome message to put out, not just, you know what I'm saying, to other entrepreneurs, but especially to the youth of today. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of them kind of have gone astray, and I can say now because we are not the youth anymore.
Man, what?
Crazy, right? It's crazy how that happens.
Knees hurting, gray hair, like what?
I woke up yesterday morning was sore. I was like, I didn't do anything. Why does my back hurt? Yeah. But it's important to lay that groundwork for the youth, man. And being a father yourself, you are kind of twofold, laying that example down, both in terms of faith and also in terms of pursuing your own path. How much does being a father push you into those things in particular? You know, making sure that you teach your children that it's okay to be both faith-based and entrepreneurial-based.
It's everything, because I know that as a father, I'm my child's first teacher. Everything that I do, they are watching. So, I know a lot of parents, even my parents, it was kind of like do as I say, not as I do type deal. Mm-hmm. No, I need you to, I want, like my daughter and my son, I bring them to the shop all the time. I want you to see Daddy putting in the work, Daddy dreaming. I want you to see it, because if you see me doing it, then you start to think, well, maybe I can do it. And this was the whole idea with launching my daughter's business. Mm-hmm. So my daughter has a lip gloss company. Got some really exciting news coming. You're
not gonna hear that right
yet.
Now. So
not yet.
don't think you're getting exclusives just yet.
Yeah.
But I will say, stay tuned, because most likely I'll have news about that.
Yeah.
But please continue.
But we launched it on her 4th birthday, because me as an entrepreneur, I just said, I want my kids to have options. If they don't ever want to work for anybody, I don't want them to have to. You can work for yourself. If you want to go to college, like, you can pay for it yourself. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I just want them to have options. I want them to believe, like, you can do anything. Mm-hmm. And I don't care what business you want to go into. If you want to, sell seashells, okay, let's do it.
Right.
Whatever you want to do. But I just believe that showing them that their father has the faith to step out there, to go for it. I just believe it's a big deal, and I want them to carry that same faith forward and know that you can go out there and do anything.
Right, and that's very important for them to see and to know. Now, I want to not necessarily apply to you personally, but back in the day, in the black community specifically, like, the entrepreneurial path was so important. It was so the thing to do. And I don't expect you to have all the answers, but I'm curious, since you are an entrepreneur yourself, how do you think we got away from that? Because there was black-owned barbers, black-owned tailors, clothing shops, cleaning services, and now we don't get to see that as much. Where do you think we kind of drove off the road, so to speak, with that?
School. I think schools played a huge role in telling us that we needed to go to college to get a job. I think they have trained us, and in many ways, I mean, I'm not trying to speak negatively on education or anything like that, but in many ways, they've programmed us and trained us to be factory workers, to be, punch the clock 9 to 5. If you don't go to school, you're going to be stuck working at a minimum wage type of job. So they don't teach us entrepreneurship in school. Right. They don't teach us that, you can actually not go to college and, you can be the next Jay-Z.
Right.
I know we kind of tell kids don't try to go be a rapper and do it, but I mean, people do it every day.
Right. And it's easier. I mean, just this in particular is a sign it's easier than ever because of the advantage that the kids have now that even we didn't have growing up, which was like social media and stuff like, the internet. Yeah. And, you know, we see every single day, you know, people go viral for some of the dumbest things. Why not go viral doing your own thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the power of the internet has completely changed the game and leveled the playing field. You know, and even you having to be in a certain city to do fashion design. Like my wife is in Michigan. It's cold and there are no, like, for real, this is not a fashion design type place, but she's designing.
She is. And
she's working with big companies and big, you know, big brands and all that kind of stuff from Michigan.
Right, right. And that's important as well, to have somebody that is equally motivated as you. So I want to talk about that for a few minutes, because your wife has her designs on display alongside yours, and I'm curious, do you guys like draw off of each other in that sense? Like when one of you is kind of struggling with a design or with an idea or just getting the work done, are you more thankful to have that other person that's like, no, look, you're looking at it all wrong, this is what you got to do, or in terms of pushing each other?
So that is funny, because in many ways for us it's almost, for me anyway, I'm very competitive, so it's a competition.
You? Yeah. What?
I'm competitive, so for me it becomes like a competition. I think it's a healthy competition. You know, we ain't in here like trying to sabotage one another or nothing. Right. But, you know, if she does something that is just fire, I'm like, that's dope. Mm-hmm. I need to step it up. And then now I'm back in the lab working on something, and then I'm like, right. Gotcha. And then, you know, she'd come back with something. So for me, I think we draw off one another. We feed off one another. She is so much better at it than me, though. Wow. So she went to school for it. She went to school for fashion design and, you know, graphic design and all of that. So, you know, I often lean on her when I get stuck. Mm-hmm. Do I want to hear what she has to say? No. But I know she's better than me at it.
I'm going to edit that part out so you don't get choked up.
It's the God's honest truth, though. Yeah. You know, I don't always want to hear what she has to say, because she's like, you know, it's getting cold, you need to do some fall colors. Mm-hmm. Well, when she says it, then I look at my stuff and it's like, well, it's black shirts, white shirts, gray shirts. Maybe she's right.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I'm looking at you. I'm assuming is this color one of her ideas?
She made me switch up the colors,
and that's a dope hoodie. I like that color.
Thank you, thank you. This was Kayla.
Okay,
this was her doing. So,
right on.
Yeah, and you know, one of the other things that happens, like, I think as entrepreneurs, you feed off of one another, because there's so much to learn from everybody in all fields. Like, you have helped me before with videos. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I think as entrepreneurs, we just got to learn to lean on one another a little bit. You don't have all the answers.
Right.
God, that hurts to say, but you don't have all the answers. So, yeah, we feed off of one another.
Yeah, I struggle with that myself, man, being, you know, a creative person. And I toss the word collaboration out quite a bit, but it is one of those things that I myself still struggle with. Now, I would imagine, because y'all are in the same household, the collaboration is a lot easier than what it would be for most. But do you guys have those times where you kind of butt heads over design ideas?
Yeah. Oh, my God, yeah. So it has gotten to the point where for a while she would not design anything for me because, oh, I don't like this, do this. Like, she was like, well, why don't you just design it yourself? If you don't, so it's, yeah, we will butt heads about designs, about color schemes. Like, she'll ask me my opinion on a bag that she's making. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, I think you're doing too much with this. It's too many colors. You need to. And now there's this awkward pause. And it's like, oh, maybe you shouldn't have. Yeah, so we all the time, man. But I think for me, even when I don't want to hear what she says, mm-hmm. I still hear it.
Right.
So I can always go, maybe I could give it a try.
Right.
So.
Which that in and of itself implies a certain level of trust too.
Right.
You have to, like you said earlier, is something that she's good at. She went to school for it, obviously, and you have to be able to trust each other's words. Now, outside of yours and Kayla's designs in particular, where else do you pull your inspiration for, like, your clothing? Because I've seen some of the T-shirts come out. And I know that some of it, or if not most of it, is pop culture, but like the quotes and the lines and more specifically the designs themselves are like one-of-a-kind things. Mm-hmm. So where do you pull your personal inspiration for designs from?
Well, I'm always waiting on something crazy to happen. So like
2020 has been an incredible year for you.
2020 has been incredible. So, like, the debate happens.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there watching the debate go, and I'm literally in my phone. In my notes. I'm typing things like, okay, I can do something with this. Mm-hmm. Man, will you just shut up? Perfect.
Yeah.
Got something for that?
Yeah.
So, and then you get on your computer, you play with colors, you play with, placement, and one thing I will say, though, one thing I've learned, even with the Big Gretsch shirt that I did, you got to be first. Mm. It pays to be first. And I actually learned this from a boxer friend of mine, Andre Durrell. He did an interview one day, and he was talking about how you have to be first. You don't wait for them to throw punch. Like, you lead. You lead. Go ahead and be first. And what I took from that is, go on and throw your punch. Like, throw the punch, because if you waiting on them, their punch might knock you out.
Right. So
I try to be first. I try to be quick with the, with the designs, the Big Gretsch thing. When that whole thing happened, an hour, I think, went by. I had a shirt out there and then went viral.
Yeah.
And
the Big Gretsch shirt was probably one of the biggest projects that you've done so far, right?
Without question.
Yeah, and that's essentially what paved the way to you, and that's speaks to everything that you're saying in terms of hitting first, or if you watch Cobra Kai, strike first.
Strike first.
Strike.
You gotta strike. Yeah. Strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah, man, absolutely, and I dig that. Now, it is not so much as important to just be first, though, right? You have to also be unique in your approach. And like I was saying earlier, some of the designs that you've dropped, like, I would have it wouldn't even be a thought in my brain to showcase them the way that you do. So where does that come from? Is that like a collaborative thing, or is it just how things appear in your head?
Yeah, sometimes it's a collaboration. Sometimes I'll talk to my wife and say, hey, what you think about this? And, she's like, turn this upside down, change this color, and we'll play with it like that. And sometimes it's just how it appears in my head.
Yeah.
And because I've been doing it for a while, like, I'm getting pretty good with the whole graphic design type thing. So drag, drop this, move this over here, just playing with the placement of things and the color schemes. And one other tip, match it up with some Jordans, you're good to go.
Because sneaker game is on fire right now.
Sneaker game, like, if you pay attention to it, you match it up with some shoes that's getting ready to drop, you're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that's just how it appears in my head.
Good, man. So I want to talk to something that we've both spoke about recently, and that was your wish to be like a hub for other entrepreneurs. How important is that, or is this space now for you continuing to drive that message home, like you wanting to help other places of business get their message and their product out?
I think for me it's huge. When I first started making shirts, I was actually going to the mall and having them print shirts for me, and it was expensive. So much so that I basically wasn't really making a profit. So I want to help other entrepreneurs because everybody doesn't have the ability to print their own T-shirts. So if I can be that middleman to help birth those dreams and bring those ideas to life, I think is huge. And that's what we want to do here. Is like I can print almost anything. My wife can sew almost anything. So we came together. We call it the Curate Space. No, don't sue me, Rob. Because it's a place of
one word off, man. One word off.
It's a place of creation.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want this to be an innovative hub of creation for not only for us but for other entrepreneurs to help them manifest those dreams.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I mean I can speak to that personally because I hit you up the one day like I think eventually I want to get back into the merchandise game, and you were the first person to throw it out there. So thank you for that.
Hey,
like,
man.
I got a spot on my site. We can throw, a collection up of your shirts, and we'll see how it does. And I appreciate that so very much. And I am curious though, and I don't mean this in any sort of negative way at all, but being a man of faith, and now that you have had the success that you have had, do you feel, because of your faith, do you feel any sort of obligation to help other people up, or is this just you?
I think it's probably both. I've always been a pretty nice and helpful type of person.
Yeah.
But I think my faith is part of that reason. I'm always looking to help people. So I think it's a good mixture of both.
Okay. It's like the old saying: you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, you teach him to fish, he'll eat forever. Something like that. I think you got it. Yeah, something like that. But is that essentially not necessarily a mantra, but just how you feel on things? Like I did it, so I want to show you that it's really not hard. You just got to work at it.
Absolutely, because like I'm thinking back to the first shirts that I ever did. Rob, they were trash. Oh my God, they were so trash. So if I could work from that design, and I sold a few of them, people were being nice, because looking back, I'm like, yep, that was garbage. Mm-hmm. But from looking back to that design to where I am now, yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can absolutely do it. And I don't care what it is. If you make beats, if you rap, if you dance, whatever, just keep working at it. Whatever thing it is that you do, whatever it is that motivates you to get up and go at it again, just keep doing it. Like, you only get better if you practice. It's kind of like shooting basketball, like shooting the ball. Like, you only get better if you keep shooting.
Yeah. Yep. And I can see that because, again, this is the byproduct of all your hard work and effort. So a couple more questions before we wrap up, because I don't want to keep you from your wings and football and all that.
Go Lions.
That's really for me. No, I mean, we'll talk about that later. You saw I posted about this is the happiest part of my day, and then I'm pretty sure I'm going to go into a Lions-induced depression later. But how important is it for you specifically to continue to stay hungry and to continue to have that work ethic to create?
It's incredibly important. So I love sports. I love basketball, and right now the NBA Finals is going on, and the NBA normally puts out this thing when the playoffs are happening. It says win or go home. Mm-hmm. So for me, I kind of flip that and says win or don't go home. Like, I can't go home if I didn't win today. I can't face my kids if I didn't win today. So every day is Game 7 for me.
Wow.
Every single day, like, I have to win. Mm-hmm. If I don't win, like, how do I look at my 3 and my 5-year-old and I didn't win today?
Right.
So that's how I motivate myself. That's how I stay hungry. That's how I keep going. I got to win because they are depending on me to win. If I don't win, then my family loses, and I can't accept that.
Right on. That's powerful, man. Hearing that is motivation enough for me. I'm fired up myself. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Rob here with the Curated Culture, and I hope y'all were enjoying that video. Very, very good interview with the homie Randall. He was dropping some knowledge nuggets. It was a fantastic discussion, but if it feels like it cut out a little bit shorter than it was supposed to, It's because it actually did. Your boy is still learning, still getting better at his craft, still becoming a master technician and all that. But I made the rookie mistake of forgetting to unload some files from my SD card and the camera cut out. So that's why the interview ended so abruptly there. But the entire interview is still saved on my recorder, which I am going to decide to release as a podcast episode next week on the Curated Culture Podcast. So if you have not done so already, or if this is your first time seeing or hearing from me, head on over Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, however you get your podcast, and subscribe to the show, because next week I'll be dropping the full, unedited, uninterrupted interview with Randall. Again, the brother was dropping some knowledge nuggets, and you definitely don't want to miss the whole thing. In the meanwhile, if you liked this interview, make sure you let us know, man. Show us some love. Give us a thumbs up. Hit that like icon on the video. Drop a comment. We encourage feedback at all times. Let me know if you like the interview. Let Randall know. Give the man some encouragement. He is on a mission to build Velocity Tees into a massive, massive success, and also allow it to be a hub for other entrepreneurs to share their message too. So brother has a hell of a story, is bringing tons of positivity to the community. So you want him to win, right? In the meanwhile, if you want to catch up with me personally, you can follow me over on pretty much everything via @RobbieDiesel, or you can catch up with my site, Curated Culture, thecuratedculture.com, @thecuratedculture on Facebook and Instagram, or _Curated Culture on Twitter. I love interacting with y'all, so if you want to follow me over on there, have at it. Thank y'all so very much for checking this out in however way you checked it out. Thank you so very much for your support, and I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.